This is Crazy John Carrots. I'm here with Scott Frange of the Players Exchange in Lemoyne, Pennsylvania. And Scott, maybe you can tell me about your business. Now, you told me earlier you've been around 15 years here?
Been here 15 years and buy, sell, and trade, a little bit of everything. Everything in here will sell from, say, a $100 guitar up to some of the high-end vintage stuff goes for tens of thousands, depending on what I get in. And average in here, probably get in 50 to 60 pieces a month on average, depending. Not all vintage. Can be USA Strats, can be Les Pauls, SGs, can be Marshalls, can be Mesas. You don't know. There's a lot of people that call weekly to see what came in because it changes that quickly. So,
yeah, the thing I hear about your place here is that you have unique stuff that a lot of places don't have.
Try to cover it all. Try to cover from the student to the really high-end touring pro, the high-end collector, and you'll see banjos, and you'll see mandolins, and you'll see cheap mandolins, and then you'll see Gibson mandolins. You'll see cheap banjos, and you'll see high-end Gibson, upper master tone. I try to cover. There's always an occasional accordion in here. There's it's just cool stuff. Everybody, it's just a full thing. Try to cover it all.
What made, now you were telling me earlier that you were used to being corporate for actually computer stuff and chips. Yeah. What got you to decide to want to do a music shop?
Well, I've been playing bass for over 40 years and played in some pretty high-end pro bands and cut records in the 70s and such. But I just thought area needed it, and it was about 15 years ago. I had the idea for years, and I thought the area needed a good place to buy and sell and trade a little bit of everything, and that's been the truth. It has worked out very well. And, it was just a need. There was a need for it.
Yeah, I know, and you're in an area here where there's a bunch of other music shops, but you still seem to be doing fine.
Do my own thing. And do something totally different. I don't deal in that much new gear. Occasional cheaper new stuff just to cover that. But 95% of what I do is used or vintage. And most of the other stores do have new lines, but I do something totally different. I have all the vintage stuff goes pretty quickly, clientele all over the country and all over the world sometimes. But I do what I do a little differently. I buy a lot of stuff. I buy more than all the stores do together probably like in a month because that's my business.
So now you're saying about selling all over the world. Do you sell through websites or the internet?
No,
or
everything is through my store. I have lists and lists of high-end collectors that I've sold to for years. When I put, if you see the windows out front, this street gets 10,000 cars a day go by. So if I, for example, get like say Gibson Les Paul, nothing vintage, maybe from the 80s or 90s, I put it in the window, it lasts 2 days. If I get a USA Strat, nothing vintage, post 1980, or an SG, anything, or a Rickenbacker, in the window, it's gone in 2 days. People know what to look for here. The good stuff goes fast, then there's all the regular stuff that comes and goes. I mean, Martin Acoustics, I bought 20-some Martins the last 4 months. I mean, they're all gone. I mean, it's what happened, PA stuff, it could be big bass rigs, it could be Mesas, Marshalls. Depends. Everything comes in. Just when you don't think it will, it shows up. That's how it works in there.
So do you have a presence on the web, or?
Not really a website, and part of the reason why, and being an ex-computer rep, an Intel rep, and Motorola chip rep for 15 years or so, is that I don't want to mess with it. When I close at 5 o'clock, I go home. Now, I get calls off my ads all evening with different binge stuff, but I don't want to update my site because I have nothing new. If I had to go home every night and update, now I bought 6 or 7 pieces now this morning. I don't want to have to go home and fill my site with the new stuff. You want to come in? Call me and see what I got. And that's
good point. If you're doing a lot of volume, that'll be a lot of extra work.
People call and say, "What'd you get? Did you get in?" Yeah, stop in. That's what they do every week. A lot of people call.
So let's go back a little further. What got you originally into playing the bass?
Going to the Steel Pier at 10 years old with my parents and seeing Gary Puckett and Union Gap. Now, in 1966. And
I remember the Steel Pier.
That's what I want to do. And I came back, and my parents got me a white acoustic guitar. I was 10, and I played bass on the first 4 strings, the E through the G. So I need a bass, and if you look, that's very similar to what I started playing bass on when I was about 10. One of those little guys, and then evolved, and I was with a band. It was Middleton Brothers, early Middleton Brothers in the early 70s, and we, I was in bands in high school, but that band was pretty big, did some records in 73, and we opened up for Sugarloaf, a lot of big bands, 74 and 5 out of high school, and the evolution went from there. I was in the Middleton Brothers in Harrisburg, and a lot of bands, a lot of guys know me around. I'm kind of like a progressive bassist, like to play. Sometimes too many notes. But that's the fun of playing. Started playing cello about 20 years ago. So did some weddings.
Did some weddings? I was gonna say, did you play in some bands with that too?
Yeah, don't do that now. I did weddings maybe 10 years ago. Now I did something with a gal. It's with Hailstorm, a song that was a tune that was on the radio and all that stuff, and I guess they're signed with Sony now. So yeah, just kind of pick and choose what I want to do now. But that's where it started, way back in the day.
And it gave you the bug, and you're still doing it.
Well, playing 42 years, and get asked to play out a lot. I don't do. I work with an area piano player, Bob Barry. That's like a progressive pianist that we worked together back in the early '70s, and we do maybe a show every year or two together, me and him.
Now here's a question: Do you do upright then?
No.
No upright?
No. I'm an electric bass. I have several good basses at home, an 8-string and other good basses, and I'll work with Bob. And we're doing a benefit actually coming up in May, I think, a big thing. Me and him probably an hour or two of just kind of progressive bass. So it's all his material that I get to really play.
What will that be a benefit for?
It's for a big area church. I think it's to raise money to send people down to work on the Gulf Coast still.
Oh, that's nice.
So we're going to play an hour or two together, concert, doing his material. It's kind of neoclassical. It gets me able to express a lot of my material playing. We have a lot of fun doing it.
So here's a question back to the shop. Any changes you have planned in the future for the Players Exchange?
Changes of Players Exchange. This place has evolved over the years. We have a vintage room that people bring me stuff. I can't put anything else up. Everything is in, there's so much crazy stuff in there. You could spend hours looking around.
There are some interesting things. I mean, some Kiss things, some weird decorations and stuff.
There's an Entwistle picture from his tour guide. There's so much stuff, but the only the changes are in here is just continuing to do what I do, and I just take it real serious when we sell something that the person's getting the right thing. You don't oversell stuff. The person walks out what he or she needs. Beginners to really high-end pros, and guys know me that well, all over the state and all the area, and people that I deal with, all my regular customers, a lot of referrals weekly. Half my business comes from people sending people. A lot of referrals. That could be, like I said, high-end pros, so you see the Ricky's got or something, or high-end rigs, or it's just, we'll just continue the evolution of what it's been, and do the vintage down to the entry level, and this is never a day of work. This is a total blast, total fun blast.
So I tell you, in closing, I don't know if this will probably be a hard one. Maybe in a sentence you could summarize the Players Exchange. What you think makes you unique?
What makes us unique? I buy and sell at a different level maybe because I buy so much equipment. And again, I bought 6 pieces this morning. Inexpensive, kind of crazy cool, an old 60s, early Silvertone guitar. And odd Mosrite bass copy from the 60s. It's vintage, but cheap vintage. But
thrifty, that's better.
We do everything. I just really am tough. When I'm buying, I'm tough on the quality of the stuff. So when you come in here, if you're going to find stuff that is original for the most part, nothing changed. I believe in having stuff, because I play bass. I want stuff to be what it is. So when you come in here, you're going to get a good value. On vintage is different. Vintage is what the market bears. But normal, USA, I keep saying, Strats, Tellys, and Les Pauls, SGs, Martins, Taylors, they're going to be good prices. The other stuff, you always get a great value and a good product, and the equipment all has 6-month warranties for 15 years. You buy something here, it's a 6-month warranty.
That's
amps
good.
or guitars, completely. And I never get them back, because I don't buy stuff that is bad. I try to buy good stuff. And you take care of the customer, they send back. The greatest thing in business is to get referrals. And I get so many referrals weekly, it's cool, and that's what it's all about. So just try and do a little different. Just do it right, you know?
Well, thanks, Scott, for letting us talk to you. And if people are in Lemoyne, Pennsylvania, stop in at 225 South 3rd Street and see what kind of deal you got for them.
Apps all the time. It's changing every day.
Thanks a lot.
Hey, thank you.